There we go. It worked. Boom.
Hello.
We're getting better at that each week.
Happy, basically Halloween.
Well, first off, let's address the win we had as a country. Chili's bringing back their skillet queso. Whoever's idea it was,
bullying can work.
Yeah, well, seriously. Whoever's idea it was to ever get rid of that, get them out of your corporate headquarters. Get them out. Yeah, just a lot of places they can go.
Funny.
But
we actually went to a Chili's recently, and she had told us that they were only going to have skillet queso like one more week. We're like, what do you mean? Like, there's really no reason for us to come back here.
So I was like, we're talking about the skillet queso, like the you get the appetizer. She goes, yeah, and I was like, no, well, you're misinformed. I don't work here, never have no idea how this job works, but there's no way they're taking away that. I mean, that's like DQ taking away the blizzard. And it's just like, what are we doing?
Yeah, no. So yeah, win for America.
That's like finding a running back that the defense can't stop and then just not giving them the ball in the fourth quarter. It's just, oh wait, never mind, that happened.
No.
Anyways, we'll get to all of it. I know it's been a frustrating. And adding insult to injury, you see Texas win a game they have no reason winning because Mississippi State is just.
Sorry,
it's really on me. I set all this up, and I just haven't had leasing right now is crazy in the oil and gas world. So I've been working later than normal, and it's getting home late. And I haven't had as much time to set up, so that one's on me. Let's get start off with the intro. I am Chad Smith.
I'm Tierney Smith.
And we are the voice of college football Oklahoma. Sooner Smith's show at the voice of college football Oklahoma.
Sorry, Josh. We just took
your title. Your title. And going to have a few things to talk about today. I know a lot of people interested in the saga that is Oklahoma's offense right now and the lack thereof, it seems, at times, or a lot of times. The defense, again, playing well enough to win the game, that's for sure. And having to play perfectly to win games is never a good recipe for a team to have to for one side of your ball. Yeah, or realistic. There are, I guess a lot of things we can get to, but obviously Oklahoma loses to Ole Miss 34-26. Some interesting stats from the game before we get into it. They both had, let's see, how did it go? They both had 12 drives, I think, total. Comparison stats, let's go here. They both had, let me get to it, sorry. Let's see, drives, boom. Both teams had 13 total drives. Ole Miss had 7 scoring drives. We had 5. Both teams started on their own 29 for an average field position. Didn't feel like that at all. And average time of possession, 2 minutes, 43 seconds for Ole Miss, minute 52 for Oklahoma. Average yards gained per drive, Ole Miss 34, Oklahoma 29. And the average number of plays, Ole Miss 7, Oklahoma 5. Ole Miss had 2 drives of 70+, 3 drives of 10+ yards. Oklahoma had 1 drive, 70+, and no 10+ yard drives, which is just depressing. 5 minute plus drives, they had 1, we had 0. We had 3 1 minute, they had 1. Average third down distance, 6.3 yards for Ole Miss and 6.9 for Oklahoma. Both had a 23% touchdown success rate, which is just wild that they had the same amount of drives and scored the same amount of touchdowns. Both had 3. By the way,
again, doesn't feel like it.
Doesn't feel like it.
But it's just because we lost.
And when it also they had 5 straight against Georgia, didn't they?
5 straight, yeah. Their first 5 drives. Well, they had 8 drives against Georgia. The first 5 were all touchdowns.
I don't think this is
the first 5 were all touchdowns.
Yeah, there we go.
So the fact that this defense that apparently everybody wants to
get on.
We'll get
did
better than Georgia did. By a lot.
Yeah, they did.
Again, the points were about the same. I think they scored 35, but again, we were holding them to field goals. And then,
which is
a few times that had some bad field position.
All right. Well, third downs. By the way, Ole Miss was 9 of 21. Oklahoma was 4 of 14. My goodness. That's just not going to do it.
Right.
But does seem about right. They had 10 more minutes of time of possession, 35, 36, 24 minutes of possession for Oklahoma. Total plays, by the way. Now, I know that this doesn't count all the false starts and all the plays that don't really go into
what I would say, though,
totals,
is one thing that does skew those results is the fact that Xavier Robertson scored as quickly as he did for that one. So, if you take that out, then it's
and Isaiah Satania really, too.
Oh, yeah. But especially, what was that, the first play, second play, first or second play
Yeah.
for X Rob. So
Yep.
I mean that definitely is an outlier there that would affect the stats. But continue.
Total plays. We had let's see, that was 60. Was it 66? I think, or 60 for Oklahoma and 87 for Ole Miss. I'm trying to find total plays here. It is 60 and 87. So 93 total. Again, that's 60, 87 actually snap plays that they ran. So this goes to, and I think starting with the defense, I guess, how they played. My gripe when people complain about defensive football for Oklahoma is that until you fix what's on offense and the fact that they can't have a sustained drive or right now they're struggling just to do basic things correct. I know that we have to have the defense play almost perfect to win games. They can make mistakes and us be in them, like we were in this game. But they are at such a low. They have such a short leash to make mistakes or to make any sort of I guess just mistake in general, that they give up like one drive. We finally get ahead, and they give up the 75-yard drive for a touchdown that they end up scoring on. And everyone's just talking about, well, the defense has to step up and make a play there. I get that. And you would love them to. They also held them to field goals when you gave them the ball at the 49 and the 51 or in the 50. And they held them to field goals whenever you weren't having drives at all. And they had a long punt return back that you pointed out, missed blocking the backs and holding on. They did a lot of really, really good things. They were on the field for 87 snaps. And everyone talks about, well, this isn't the defense 10 minutes longer than Ole Miss of game time. Yeah.
So right. A century
right.
in actual time.
And everyone talks about this isn't the defense I saw at the beginning of the year. And it's like, you realize the defenses that played against Michigan played 55 snaps total. Mm-hmm. You almost had 2 games worth of snaps in one.
This is also probably the best offense we played.
It's the best offense.
Think of anybody comparable.
It's the best offense we played, absolutely. And we need to know why. And we need, for me, it's I can understand get on the offense and do that, but it's also, it's harkening back to when we had a good offense and a terrible defense under the Riley days. It's like the offense would score 45 and we'd lose, and it's like, oh, you remember that drive though in the third quarter whenever they just dropped an open pass? You can't drop open passes. You got to catch everything. Mm-hmm. And it's like, dude, they gave you 45 points. Mm-hmm. At some point, you just got to not let them score 48 more than that. And for me, it's the defense held one of the best offenses in the country and a really experienced play caller in Lane Kiffin to 32. And instead of saying, you know what, offense, you guys got to quit putting your defense in this position and continuing to just say how badly can we just make it, how difficult can we make it on you? We're in a position where we're telling the defense, you just got to be better, man. Apparently the defense has to never make a mistake or they're going to get some of the large share of the blame. For me, it's I didn't see anything there that was, oh, this is horrible by the defense. They had some bad plays. You're going to have them. They were just, you can't give teams like Ole Miss short fields back to back. You can't give teams like Ole Miss free points and safeties. Right. You can't give teams like Ole Miss, who has a really, really good, and I said it in week 2, whenever I saw the guy play, I was like, this dude looks like Kyler. He reminds me of Kyler. He doesn't have as good of an arm, obviously, but the dude's fast, and he's going to be a really big problem for us. And then you look at the field conditions, and whenever you're reactive on defense, it's hard to stop people that are very quick and light-footed. And it gets in we're getting into the Mateers play in a little bit too, but the weather to me affects a guy like John more than Trinidad Chambliss, and people will see this when they look at running backs. Some running backs have really light feet; they can tap their feet well. Jaden Nott, if you ever watched him in his few runs this year, into the hole, he can tap his feet. They're very light and he's quick laterally. Whereas some running backs, like a Blaylock, are more cut and cut and go kind of guys. They're like Todd Gurley used to be for when he was at the LA Rams. They're very good at the press and cut kind of runners. And that's tough. That becomes more difficult whenever you have wet conditions, because whenever you press hard to cut, you're just slipping out. Mm-hmm. And for me, John is more of a guy that's a press and cut runner if he's out in the open than he is like a Trinidad Chambliss or a Marcel Reed. And John's not an athlete like those two guys. I'm not trying to say that, but just a different, Xavier Robinson is more light-footed than a Torrey Blaylock, even though he weighs way much more.
He would be a heavy.
Yeah, even though he looks like he would be. But if you watch Xavier Robinson's feet in the hole, he's tapping, he's cutting, you'll see it on the touchdown run, the 9-yard run. Whenever, by the way, Caden Helms love him, gets blown up by the left defensive end on the left side. And again, I don't know why we continue to put, if you're going to block a guy for a run, just have another lineman in there. put another guy out there, put a Jaden or someone. Just we need to quit putting our tight ends in positions to just get blown up because they're not there yet. Caden Helms, I think next year, if he can just be healthy and he gets a full offseason of lifting and being ready to go, he can be that guy. He can be a legit tight end. Like in terms of just the blocking, I think he's good on the pass catching, all that. He's athletic, but he's just been hindered by not being able to work out a lot, or being injured a lot of his career, and not being able to build up all the mass he needs yet. And so for me, it's like, man, the defense has ways they could get better, and they'd be the first to tell you they have to get better in certain areas. Mm-hmm. But man, the offense is just you're playing with like 1.5. It's like you're trying to fight heavyweights with like one arm and 1.5, and you just can't do that at this level.
No. And that was my thing. Like, again, I had mentioned it. Like, Georgia, like, Ole Miss scored 5 straight touchdowns on Georgia. 5 straight. Mm-hmm. And we definitely gave them stops. We gave them time. Lane Kiffin, whatever, decided to run that 4th down. But you get the defense essentially gives you the ball at the 15 freaking yard line.
Right. Yeah.
And you go backwards. You can't even score a touchdown on that. The defense gets a stop. Granted, our Mason Thomas jumped off sides, and then we tip the ball and don't intercept it because for whatever reason, we cannot intercept a tip ball. Everyone else can, but we can't. But we still get a stop there. They get a punt, short punt. Satanka gets it about 30, returns to the 50, decides to hurdle somebody, loses the ball. So it's like that was another opportunity your defense gave you. And they gave the offense, like you mentioned, plenty of opportunities to, which I know we did capture the lead at one point, but to continuously capture lead or even build on it.
Right.
And they can't. That is not only to say they don't do it, they can't do it.
Right.
They couldn't do it. They couldn't make the simple plays, or in the 4th, we couldn't get the ball to X route for whatever reason. I say couldn't get it to him, wouldn't get it to him. And so that was just my biggest issue. And I don't know. I go back to, sure, the defense had times, again, when they're going to give up plays. Ole Miss is a very good football team.
Yeah.
They're a very good offensive team. That's going to happen when you play good opponents. Except when you get stops, you expect your offense to be able to score on somebody.
Yeah.
Especially, not that Ole Miss is even known for defense. That's the thing. You should be able to score on this.
Right.
And there's plenty of opportunities to, and we either didn't make the play or, basically we just didn't make the play.
Yeah.
I was going to say didn't miss the play or missed seeing the play, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to you didn't make the play.
Yeah.
And it's more frustrating. To me, the most telltale sign of all of it was you get the ball at the 15 freaking yard line. And you don't even get a first down.
No, you actually hurt the stats because you got negative yards.
Yes. And that alone, to me, was just a telling of how that game went.
I just want to, Castro Chora Boy says, and by the way, thanks for the comment. We always appreciate it. I just don't know why you guys continue to say Venables and this defense is elite. Listen, they had 14 tackles for loss yesterday. They had 1 sack. Saturday. When I say yesterday, I think it's just on Saturday. 14. That is elite. Their
stats are almost number 1 across the entire SEC.
Right. And I don't know, like, give me a defense that you would say is your greatest college defense ever. For me, I'll say 2021 Georgia, right? For me, it's the best college. They have like 9 guys in the NFL. All of them are starters. All of them are actually really good players. You know why they were also really good? It's because the offense and oh gosh, I just blanked on the quarterback's name. I cannot believe I just did that. What was the quarterback's name for Georgia? Stetson Bennett scored, and they had drives sustained, and they did what the offense is supposed to do. It's a double. You have to play complementary football. It can't just be my defense is going to sit here and hold the best offense in the country to 20 points. I would love them to do that. Maybe on a surface where they're not slipping and all that. They do. Maybe they hold them to less points. But that's kind of moot
every
because
single drive started
at the 25 instead of them having to get it on the 50 because our offense. We'll get to the 4th and 2 call. My goodness, I gotta. I'll just try. Gotta stay focused because I'm gonna start ranting. They did plenty to win. For me, an elite defense is this: is an elite defense good enough to win you a national championship? Our defense is, yes. If you have an offense, if you put Tennessee's offense with our defense, you would burn everybody. You would be breaking fools apart. But I am not going to be sitting here and questioning the defense whenever they're the only reason we were even in the game.
People act like they should never give up a first down.
Right.
Or nobody should ever score. That's what constitutes elite. That's not going to happen.
No.
On any team. Like, Georgia got scored on that year in 2021. Like, Alabama has had elite defenses. They've been scored on.
Yeah.
Like, that just doesn't happen. Like, I feel like we have like unrealistic expectations at times.
Yeah, but that have like never in our defensive
And
set.
also,
Yeah,
you're going to take risk on defense, and so sometimes, when you take a risk or you blitz, it's going to open up some people.
Yeah,
and you know what? If they make the play, you tip your hat and say, good play. The offense won that time, but let's not let them win the whole time.
And even with all the field position issues, all of that, they gave up 3 touchdowns to Ole Miss. They gave up 3 touchdowns.
And
now you lost some field goal,
but
and then you get and then your offense basically gives them 8 points because they give them a safety, and then they give them the ball where they only have to go 15 yards to get in field goal range. You get them the ball at the 50-yard line, you're basically giving them, with how good their kicker is, 3 points guaranteed. So I mean, anyways, I may and it's not like, what people free to have your opinion for sure, but I just, it's just frustrating. Coach Smith says there was enough scheme up plays to score 3 or 4 touchdowns. Material would have read. Yeah, you're right. We'll get to that. Coach Smith says again, the defense wasn't the problem in person. They were flying to the football. Yeah, I mean they were. They are.
Somebody else mentioned about like tarping the field. I had mentioned the same. Oh yeah. But like, is there a tarp that big?
Or multiple. I just don't know enough
like
about
multiple tarps. Like I don't even know if that's even possible.
I need to message Jason Fayers and see what he thinks. The old manager.
I'm just I told Chad the same thing because I said, hey, like the way that they tarp, baseball and softball fields. Would they do the same for football or? And he was like, I don't know. He's like, you would think if they did, they would, but apparently they didn't. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, you would think if Oklahoma. I mean, I'm sure Oklahoma would want to tarp it if they could. I just don't know why you wouldn't, but I'm seeing if maybe he tweeted out about why, because I'm sure someone had to have asked.
Somebody had to ask if we would tarp.
Yeah, like, why did they not tarp in the field?
But while he's looking at it, I just want to go ahead and say that if you are new here, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. I know we see Stacy, Boomer129, of course, Coach Smith, XOXO Sooner Girl. We see all of you in the chat, and welcome back. We love hearing from you. If you are new here, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to our channel. We're here every Monday at 7. We're also are available post games. Josh has a lot of content he's throwing out on Tuesdays and Thursdays, especially. He joins us for post games sometimes, and then he's just throwing out videos here and there. So there's lots of content going on. If you have not already become a member of our channel, we would really appreciate if you could become a member for as low as $2.99 a month. All of the proceeds go towards keeping the content rolling here and helping us to get better and just supporting us. And it's really nice. And when you become a member, we also prioritize your chats to bring them up to the stage. So that's nice. Speaking of prioritizing chats, we also take super chats. I know we don't mention that a lot, but we do take those as well. And those are all very appreciated. Not required, but they are appreciated. Mm-hmm. And then go ahead and follow us on social medias. You see our names under here at Chad P. Smith _ at Tyranny _ Kristen, as well as follow the Voice of College Football and Oklahoma at the Voice of College Football on Twitter as well. Mm-hmm. And then if you have not already, check out our merch shop at www.vocfb.com/shop. We have Zeno Zone gear, we have tumblers, we have koozies, we have all the good stuff. So check it out. It also supports us.
White Boy Slick. That's a dude. Look at his picture. Can I get some bump and run coverage? Everyone we play is going to continue to get rid of the ball quick and negate the D line. BV has suggested this. At least press on third down. Yeah, I'm wondering if my dad is listening. He can kind of comment to this too. One thing I've always hated is at least when you don't mix it up.
Sorry.
What?
Bump and run.
Bump and run. At least when you don't mix it up. One thing that quarterbacking requires is timing with your wide receivers, and we'll get to that. And it's obviously developed in the offseason, but in game as well. And you start to have a trust with people, and it's all timing. And when a quarterback can look out on the edge and they see like you're off 8 yards, they can say like, "Oh, I know. I can already tell based on timing like where he's about to catch this ball." It's like 1, 2, 3, and I know I'm going to once that right foot plants, I'm throwing the hitch route, and I can already see kind of on the sideline where he's going to be, so I know where to throw it. And at least every now and then mix up to where you're like in the dude's face, and whenever the ball snapped, you're like hitting them, and you're making their timing, you're messing up their rhythm and their timing. Because at least then they can't just get in a perfect rhythm every single play. And I don't know. I would like to see that. Listen, I whatever BV wants to do on defense, he's pretty much proven like he knows what he's doing. So I get where the frustration comes. I hate whenever they're pressed off. Now there was one time I think what a lot of people are looking at is that 3rd and like 8 when they just threw the simple out route and that dude was wide open and he ran for like 15 yards. The tight end, that was a mistake by Omasigo. He's supposed to have the flat area, and he doesn't. He just stays inside. And you see Peyton Bowen come up and make a good tackle, and he looks at Omosigo and is like, "Where you at?" And he points to the flat, and he just messes up. Which again, like I mentioned this to my dad at the game. It's like I like the fact we have so much depth. I really do, and it's a gift to an extent. I don't like sometimes when we just play the players because it's like their turn. There's times when you need your best players on the field, regardless of if they had the series before or not.
Mhm.
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just looking at it and I like what I'm saying is just dumb, and I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it hadn't statistically mattered at all. But like on big plays, when I don't see Kip and Kobe McKenzie, who I know got hurt, so this doesn't really apply for this last game. But it's like in
Like
the
Arnold
Texas
Thomas,
game,
Grayson Halton.
or it's like the Texas game. Like during the fourth quarter, there's multiple drives where it's like Heineke and Omosigo, and I like Heineke. He's great, but like your starters are your starters for a reason. And it's not even that they just came off the field. It's like they'll not go a series, then the offense will go, and then like they're still not out there. And I'm like, you can't do that. You have to have your best players on the field. And
I think I tweeted that during the game too. There was a time where like we were getting, it was like 2 really big defensive plays or something, and then like we substituted. I think got a penalty because some guy wasn't off yet, or I don't know if somebody was like not lined up right. But basically, it all because we subbed. And I think I tweeted like, "Stop subbing!" Like the group that was in was killing it,
right.
and you just let them finish it.
Mhm.
Like that was my frustration. I was like, let them finish it. They needed like one more play, and then we still ended up getting it. I think it was only like a 5-yard penalty, but still, like it was like frustrating for me because I was like, what?
Right.
Why? This was working. The energy was high, and then you give a penalty, and like that immediately like sucks energy out. Like I don't know. That was my issue with that, but
right. And you know, there are a lot we could say about just how some of the defensive stuff. Well, I mean, a lot more that could be said, I guess. But we got to get to the offense because we're already 22 minutes in, and we haven't even started on what the meat I think of the show is going to be, and that is complaining or just saying what the heck on a lot of this offensive stuff. What's weird is like on the ratings on Stat Broadcast, John Matier had a higher rating than Trinidad Chambliss. Yeah, which I don't know how ratings work. I don't like them because I don't understand them, but you know, it's helping me make a point here, so I'm saying it. All right. Well, obviously the offense is struggling. So how do we address it? Why? If I had that, we'd be in a much larger home. I'll tell you that much. If I had the answer, there is, I think, a couple things that are true. One, the offense hasn't been really gangbusters all year. I don't think you could point a game where it's even against Kent State, and now you didn't have John for Kent State, but still, even against a team like Illinois State, Temple, you know, you weren't really like, oh, this offense is humming. So you really haven't had that this year. On top of that, your quarterback has an injury, and you still continue to have injuries on the offensive line that's hurting continuity there. And those things can be addressed in the offseason. I don't want to go into like what we need. You have your tool bag right now. You can't go buy new tools right now. So you got to use what you have. And right now, it's 2 true freshmen at the tackle position in the SEC, where the best defensive lines in the country are, which is not ideal. But that's where we are. With John Matier, because that's been the heart of all, I mean, kind of the hottest point of contention right now for, I think, OU fans on Twitter and just at large.
Podcasts,
yeah. There are a couple things that I think we just need to say off rip here. One is he did get injured. And I mean, I almost cringe up saying it because on one hand, I say he got injured and he hasn't looked the same since the injury.
On one hand.
It seems to be,
Ironic.
There you go. It seems to be like there was a direct correlation between the injury and he's not looking as good, right? So like, there's one thing, and it seems like you could draw a correlation between the two. So it seems like it's one explains the other. Also, on the other hand, I say, look, if you're going to play, though, I can't sit here and say, look, I can excuse your bad play because of your hand. On top of that, you look at the mistakes he's making, and although they are mental, everyone knows that when you are, especially as an athlete, and you can even go back to, it doesn't matter what level you played in, if you have an injury, it gets to you somehow in your head or whatever it is, and it can affect your mental and your ability to process. If you were a shooter, if you had, I don't know, like a bum knee or arm, it hurt every time you jumped to shoot, like eventually it does affect you a little bit. And you know, I do think personally, I think that is still an issue for him. I think that it's, as much as he likes to say it's not, I think that it's in his head when he's trying to run. He's not running like he used to. I still think he has a sprained knee issue too as well.
Yeah, I think he's running in quicksand.
Right.
And then even then it's like he's not cutting.
You look at what he did
effectively. It's
against
just like,
Michigan. Like, go look at the highlights against Michigan. He had he juked a guy so hard he hit his other player in the head. Like, it was literally he on the breakout to the right. He runs outside. He cuts really. He's running full speed. Cuts full speed off one knee. He jumps back. Two dudes hit each other, and he runs to the outside for like 8 more yards. He hadn't done that since Auburn. And Auburn's when he got the sprained knee and when he got the right. And part of me, the only reason I bring that up is because, and look, I don't think there are other things he's doing on reads that have nothing to do with his hand that we're going to get to. Trust me. But I just want to remind people of this too, because I think we all remember when Baker played at the Browns, and Baker was doing well as it was like his second year there, and all of a sudden he gets injured, and the stats kind of fall off a cliff. He's not playing well. He's turning the ball over, playing through it, but he's being tough, which is why in the NFL you never play through injury. You never be a tough guy in the NFL at quarterback. If anyone tells you should tough it out in the NFL, never listen to their opinion again. I don't care if they're on TV, if they're a Hall of Famer, they're wrong. That's why Lamar Jackson, who says he has a hammy injury right now, I mean, he could probably play 2 weeks ago. He's not. Luckily, I was smart enough to get good quarterbacks in fantasy football, and I've won both those games. But you never play injured in the NFL. In college, it's different because you're not going to just like lose your entire career over a couple bad games. But remember, when Baker got injured, he started playing bad, and everyone's like, "Oh, we told you Baker was fool's gold. Baker he's not the guy that he just had a hot streak." And Nick Wright on Fox Sports, who I don't always agree with, had the right take, and it was, "Hey, I don't know, Baker's doing well, he gets injured, or Baker's doing well, he then gets injured. Now he's not doing well. What do you think the correlation? What do you think the cause and effect are there?" I will say this though: when Baker was not doing well, he was still throwing it to wide open receivers. He might miss them, but he didn't miss the read. Do you want to say anything before I get on the reading issues?
No, I just pointed out Boomer129 said every team has injuries and situations. Did you see Ole Miss's injury report though?
No, yeah.
None. Not a single body on it. But anyways, I thought that was interesting. But again, and I get what you're saying too, like, but at the same time, if the people you're putting out there are literally true freshmen going against these experienced huge D linemen, like that's not good. Like they did fine. Yeah. And I'm not saying they did a bad job, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. But it's not the point. My thing with Mateer is, and I'm with you, like I've played through injuries and I've had, the mental block, like I've had high ankle sprains, like I play basketball. So, you're very shifty. And there are times, you're like, oh, because you're just afraid of it going, or you go up to get a rebound and you think about it for a second. So I can understand that. But again, you're playing. And if you're playing, you have to get over that. I don't know. Talk to I'm sure they have sports psych. Talk to one of them. Hypnotherapy. If there's a reset button, let's reset it. Factory reset, man. Yep. And it's not that I think he can't do it. I mean, we've seen him do it. It's just a matter of like, he's just got to get in his head. And I told Chad, I went back and watched the game, and it's like the first half, he wasn't like that. Right. He was more decisive. He was actually like checking the field, where it seemed like the second half was a lot of the telegraphing. At least that's what we called it in basketball. I don't know if that's what it's called in football, but when you just lock on somebody, and like you're not looking anywhere else, spotlighting, you're doing all. And that's what I was like. And I remember I noticed that mid game. I said, Chad, he's like looking in one spot and then not looking anywhere else. And I get where sometimes, like if it's a quick play, you're going to do that because you're going to understand the mismatch. But it didn't seem like it was like, I don't know. It's very weird. And then, like you said, like he's missing the reads. It's one thing if you're making the right read, you're missing it, you're off. Okay, fine. But like you're not even like looking for it, or you're not throwing it, or you're like weirdly like pump faking, and then it's too late and you can't do it. I don't really know. So for me, for his biggest thing, I was like, I need you to talk to somebody. I need like a sports psych. Like you need to talk to somebody and get that shit. I don't like the monkey off your back because I don't feel like that's a weird saying. But like you need to get that out of your head. And somebody mentioned too in the comments, like he doesn't need to run. Give it to X-Rob. No, I 100% agree with you. Yeah. We were just saying if you look at the difference in his running, there's clearly something even different there. 100% he should not have been running against Ole Miss, especially in the second half when you had X-Rob doing what he was doing. They didn't have an answer for him. Yep. And he was literally doing what he wanted at will, and we just don't get it to in the fourth. So that's just kind of what's crazy to me. Like, but he didn't play well, and some of his throws like weren't even close. No. 2 more points on just Mateer. So, I'm never. So I always mention on YouTube, you can go and watch these coaches clinics if you want. And I've watched Sark's, I've watched Kiffin's, I've watched Lincoln Riley's. Sean McVay was at the National like High School Coaches Association deal, and he was talking about how he builds
trusting receivers. And he put it really well. He was like, there's two things that or trust in quarterbacks, not receivers, whenever they're struggling, right? And he was like, there's two things that make a quarterback confident. It's trusting their scheme and trusting their personnel. Specifically, trusting the O-line, which obviously has had issues early on, and the receivers. A couple factors in that. One is, I do think that early on with the struggles they had pass blocking, I think it somewhat made him gun shy, a little, like what they called it shell shocked. And I think that I think that still is in his head a little bit, where he doesn't believe, and it can hurt him even on plays where there is good blocking. He doesn't think he's going to have a lot of time. So once it's not immediately open, he is panicked a little bit. He gets happy feet and he tries to make a play when he doesn't need to. And a lot of people say like, hey, dude, but it's they have good blocking on this one. Why is he doing it? And this is a crude example, but I was talking about my dad about it, and it's the only one I can think of. It's like when there's like an abusive spouse who's just like beating the other one up for no reason. Let's just say the woman's beating the man up just for the image. And you come at me and you're like fixing your hair and I flinch. And you're like, dude, I wasn't going to hit you. And it's like, I know, but you build up a response to that because you've had it happen to you so much. And so like for John, and it may not be, I might be wrong about this. I'm just from afar, this is what it seems like, that he thinks that if it's not open, he's about to get hit. And to be fair, early on, you saw Michael Fasusi have to take a dude's neck, and amazing. They can see whenever we hold a guy on the left edge that gets one-on-one and gets an arm around his neck. Fasusi held the crap out of him. He really did. Mason Thomas, it happens 7 times a game, and they never call it. But that's neither here nor there. I think that's in his head a little bit. Also, I talk about like, trust in personnel, wide receivers. I think missing Keontez Lewis is hurting more than we all think. If you look at who his go-to was, even going back to Illinois State, the 2 touchdowns he throws, the back shoulder he throws, Keontez Lewis was a guy that he had a good connection with and trust with. You could tell they put a lot of time together. They understood timing. They understood how Keontez Lewis is great at finding space in the middle of the field. And missing that, you're seeing what do we not see right now? Attacking the middle of the field. When's the last time we saw Canick catch one over the middle, make a guy miss, and go up? Now, Canick had a couple good throws here and there. And just to kind of bleed into the last point here, I think once we get Lewis back, I think that's going to help. But my biggest worry, and the only reason I mention this is because this will actually be an issue if this is what it is. Sometimes when you have a defensive-minded coach and a coach that is as good at coaching defense as Brent is, and a defense as good as ours, sometimes the staff can get together and be like, look, if we just don't put our defense in a stupid, impossible position, then we'll win almost every game we're in. What was John Mateer doing if there was knocks against him early in the season for the turnovers, right? And where were most of those turnovers, if not all, in the middle of the field? My worry is, and I have no reason, no one's told me this, not that people tell me things, but I mean, no one reported on it at least or anything. What I hope is that they aren't trying to coach the risk-taking out of John Mateer. And the best way I can put it is this, and he's not this guy, so please don't take the example literally, but you don't tell Brett Favre hey, don't take chances, man. Hey, don't run around. Don't be a gunslinger. Just stay in the pocket, do your 3-step drop, show your check. You can't tell somebody not to be who they are by their nature, right? You can coach it to be more efficient or to, not be as up and down or more like not as volatile at times, but you can't coach nature out of somebody. And what I hope they didn't do to John, and the reason why I say this, if it's, and again, taking away the physical stuff, the injury and all that, and I agree, like if you're going to be out there, be out there. The reason why I'm worried about that is like there's one thing he did early in the year. He ripped it across the middle. Go back to the first game, the touchdown, the 20-yard post route that was a Keontez Lewis over the top. All those throws he threw early on to Jaren Canick over the middle. I mean, that we killed the middle of the field with Jaren Canick, but that's also where his turnovers came from, right? You look at where all of his turnovers at Texas. Well, there was one that was deep to Burks, but on the outside, but over the middle, even though one of them was late too, but still. I just hope that they didn't get to John and say, hey, John, listen, we love that you want to play, but let's just make sure that we're sure that there's no one, that we're not turning the ball over when we throw over the middle of the field. And once you get a guy guessing like that, once you get a guy saying, it's too late. Oh, I don't, and you'll see it because like sometimes he'll do this and he'll be ready to about to throw it, and before he like releases it, he just like you can tell him he's like pump faking it. He's like glitching right here, and I just hope it's not. I just hope it's not him being like, oh, I'm not sure. And then all of a sudden you have to be able to throw with anticipation and throw guys open, especially. And he did it so well. And we have a great view of it where we sit because we're right on the south side of the stadium. And when those drives go to the north, we can see all the plays. You can see them. there's throws he's making to Countez Lewis that are like 7 yards in front of where he's going to be, and Countez isn't even out of his break, and Countez is out. He takes like 4 steps, and it's a beautiful route, a beautiful play, and he does it over, and he did it multiple times. And now it's like, it's hard to, I mean, I know he threw over the middle, but like, it's hard for me to remember a throw he made where it was like a slant in route.
One to Kanik over the middle.
I would love to see the passing chart since like the injury. I would love to see
like it was in the 4th, like it was in like the very end of the game.
Yeah. I'd love to see the Pro Football Focus passing charts they do, where you can see like how many attempts over the middle and completions for each like quarter or each eighth or whatever. But that for me is my big worry, is like you cannot coach that out of someone. And like if I'm Arbuckle and assuming like it's not a mental thing, like he's smart enough to get the offense. I mean, I've never heard, at least reported, I never heard anything where it's like, that's the biggest issue. I think if you're Arbuckle, you just need to go up to me like, John, look, I know you're trying to play safe, man. Like, but go play, throw the thing, dude. If you throw a pick, okay, it happens. Like your job isn't to go out there and not throw picks. Your job is to go out there and score touchdowns. And inherent in scoring touchdowns and passing the ball is the risk of interceptions. And when you're a gunslinger, you're going to get a lot of good. You're going to get some really bad though. And he has to just say, I accept. You have to be like, I accept it, dude. Fine. You have to be able to utilize his skill set. And what made him good was that he was competitive as heck, and he wasn't afraid of the big mistake. And what I worry about, and I think, I mean, just going off of what I've seen in the last few games he's been back, is that they have told him, it looks like at least, and again, I don't know, that they have just made it a point to him to not turn the ball over. Because there's just nothing like telling a player they cannot be their nature. It's like telling Steph Curry, hey, don't shoot the wild 3-pointers where you're spinning around coming off a screen and you're not even looking at the goal yet or something. It's like, dude, you got to let someone play free. Like, and if John's able to do that, then I think you can get back to the production we saw pre-injury. And I hope he can. And listen, I know Arbuckle and them are doing all they can to figure that out and doing the best they can to get it back. But yeah, so that's on Mateer. I know. Any last thoughts on that?
Caden had a good comment. He said something about like, do we need to play more wide receivers? Hold on, keep going. Right.
Hey, y'all! Thanks for the comments, guys.
Do you think we should be playing more receivers? That way, Satanga, Burks, and Gibson can get breaks during drives. What drives? Like, what drives are long enough that they need breaks? In my opinion.
Also, yeah. Well, and
also like what happened on that 4th down.
Yeah.
You didn't have your guys out there.
Apparently, we're not afraid to play receivers.
Yeah. And so my only thing is, like, I don't feel like the offense is out there long enough that they need breaks. Maybe that's harsh. I don't know. Again, never played football, but I did play a sport where you ran a lot. So that's just my take on it. And again, I just go back to on that 4th down play, 4th and 2, and we don't even have any of our playmakers out there.
That I remember said it to T. Oh, there was one last thing I'll say about the 4th and 2 thing. 100%. Nick Saban had the greatest quote ever, and he was like, the best lesson I ever learned in coaching, right? And people debate on who the greatest coach ever is. What Nick Saban's it, and if you don't think that, you're just wrong. But in college at least, the greatest quote he had was, in the big moments, it's players, not plays. In the biggest moments of a game, and I went back with it with T, like, who did Alabama go to beat Georgia in overtime in the national championship? Devontae Smith. Who did Clemson go to beat Alabama in the national championship? They gave the ball to Deshaun Watson and said, hey, Hunter Renfrow, go run a great route. Best route runner in the country. Go beat this dude to the outside. And he did it. You look at who they go to, every great team, who do they go to win games? They go to their best players. LSU did not stop throwing back shoulders to Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase when they got into the playoff. They said, hey, I know one thing you're never going to stop is this. Here's 7 of them in one game. And so you cannot go away from your guys. And all we know is that there's been 3 players out there every single snap almost. And in one of the biggest moments of the game, you put them on the sideline and you bring in guys that have talent, sure. But you haven't showed us that they're the guys you want out there because you haven't played them. Except for like Caden Helms. And why are you in 12? And even then, it's like, this is where.
And even then, he's still like slowly coming off injury.
Right.
So it's not like he's been out there a ton. And like you mentioned, we call on 2 tight ends to block when we've had tight end blocking issues.
You don't go 12. Our worst formation is 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, 1 running back. And in 4th and 2 from your own 10 or from your own 50, you do 12 personnel. And not only that, you're bringing out receivers that don't ever play. So what is the defense thinking? Oh, something's different. What is up right now? What are they doing differently? And then we go under center because for some reason we think that's good. If you're going to run a play that's a risky play, do something your whole team's comfortable with. Why are you going under center one play and it's the one time and it's something you never run?
So bad. It was so bad.
I just players, not plays in big moments. Have your best players out there. I would have rather them go 6 wide and no one in the back and no one in the back talking about abuse about that. And no one in the backfield than I would, because at least we've ran that. Like, we're understanding assignments, we're understanding keys. And you look at the play, granted there was really no one open, even if he gets the block on the edge. You look at the play and the dude comes unblocked right into John's face.
Yeah, it's bad.
So it just,
there's never a shot.
And
no shot.
Yeah, that's just one of those things where it's inexcusable to an extent.
Also, somebody had mentioned they missed Jackson Arnold, who got benched, by the way, his last game. This was that team last year didn't score more than 24 against an SEC opponent, and that 24 came in Alabama, where
that was wild. That
scoring came from the defense.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Other than that,
that was such a great game to go to.
I just again, it's like the emotional response. I don't. No.
So
disregard. But should we move to Tennessee, because we kind of covered a lot of this?
Yeah. No. Well,
do you have more points? Yeah, okay. Keep going.
No, we're fine. Listen, I don't know. Obviously, I always say, like, the coaches at the D1 level have forgotten more football than I'll ever know. They forget it in one day than I'll ever know. There comes a point, though, when I think you try to do things that are so smart to show that you have these great schemes and these great ideas, that you kind of lose the forest for the trees. It's like, man, I go back to the Auburn game, and I'm glad Auburn didn't do it. But if I have a guy that is just bodying one of their corners, and Cortland Guillory's a great young player, he was getting bodied by Cam Coleman. Granted, Cam Coleman bodies everyone he goes up against because he's probably the best receiver in the country. Him and Jeremiah Smith. Take your pick. If I have a guy that does that, I'm sorry, you may think I'm not creative. You may think like, oh, he just does the basic stuff. You're getting 10 of those, 12, 15 of them. Mm-hmm. You might get 10 in a row.
Or, like taking out Trinidad Chambliss and putting in Simmons.
Thank you. That's a great point. But that's a touchdown, by the way, if you keep Trinidad Chambliss in. The middle of the field is wide open, right. But Simmons isn't a runner, so he's not going to take that.
Right.
It's a stand-up touchdown.
I told you, I was like, if Trinidad was in, he runs right up there.
I was like, what are we doing?
Truck could have fed through.
But
it's like, again, like outsmarting.
So, anyways, we get to that because it's you have a running back. What have we all been screaming for? We need to just find a run game. Yes, just a run game, something. And I don't know how. My dad mentioned it my dad mentioned it a couple games before, maybe the main game. But he had mentioned, like, dude, Extra, that freshman at 24, he has the best feet in the vision that we had. It would have been
the main game, because that's really when they played Extra for the first time. And we were like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Where'd he come from?
And granted, it's Maine, so you really didn't know. But goodness, you figured it out the next week, or whatever. But and I don't know how you don't build off that and make him I thought he'd be our featured running back. And Torrey Blaylock's been fantastic. But, they're true freshmen. You don't want to be playing true freshmen in SEC big time football if you don't have to. Now, granted, he's been a standout. I'm not trying to say I'm not saying that at all. But when you have a guy that is gashing a team for 5.5 a carry, and I'm taking away the 61-yarder because he's not going to have 61-yard touchdowns every time he touches it. Although I hope that happens. It's 12.1 yards if you count that one. I don't count it because it's an outlier. The idea that you just don't go back to him and you give him one carry in the fourth quarter, mm-hmm. and you give John Mateer continuously these quarterback draws that aren't working at all.
That haven't been
working. Yeah, right. How do you just not? This is where I don't understand the concept of not giving the player that the other side clearly cannot stop. I can't fathom the concept of him not getting the ball multiple times,
right.
And saying, "Hey, you may know I'm running it. I don't care, because you know why? You've shown you can't stop him."
For me, I would have been like that lizard meme. Lizard.
Yeah,
lizard, lizard,
right.
Lizard.
Like, you might be annoyed.
X.
I can't. It's still to this day. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever understand that. And coaches do it all the time. Yeah. People are like, well, we played bracket over Cam Coleman. We put a guy over the top. Show me you can stop him with two dudes. You're still going to get a pass thrown your way. And how many times have I been like, look, before the half, right? We had all these people mad about how we ended the first half at Ole Miss, which they were mad, rightfully so.
Yes.
My first play down there, even with not a lot of time, is a 50-50 ball to Giovanni Gibson, because he's either going to catch it incomplete, or so there's two or three things good can happen. He's either going to catch it, you're going to get a pass interference call if he doesn't, or he just doesn't catch it. So, like, within that, if you put a good pass out there, there's like a 66% chance something good happens.
Well, you could intercept it.
Intercept it too. But, I mean, rarely that's going to happen. But that'd be a fantastic play. But, okay, fair. So, I've just screamed to just do that. And they finally do it late in the game, and they get a pass interference call. And it's like, where's that been? Like, there's some things where it's just, hey, I just have a good athlete at one area. I'm going to just give him the ball and see what happens, or try to. we just for some reason struggle at that, and there's
Right.
there's not really a rhyme or reason, but we do.
Mhm.
And for whatever point we try to make in terms of just continuing to call plays that aren't specifically schemed for our best players at the time, I don't know if I'll ever understand. Nor
And
should I,
I think
maybe.
for me, like, what I'm hoping, if any good comes from this, is that we go play Tennessee. Tennessee's defense, statistically, is not even as good as Ole Miss. Now, they're playing at night. They're playing at home. They're playing a dark game.
You sent me a great
It's going to
tweet.
be a lot of energy regarding that. But
We
they're
can believe
not
in
as good as Ole Miss. It's just by the numbers. That's not like a I think, you think, we think. That's just by the numbers.
By the numbers.
So take that for what you will. If we get X-Rob going, which to me, he should be your starting running back going in next week with how he played. But if we get him going again, by golly, I hope you don't take it out of his hands. I hope like that's the one thing you learn going is that you just have to keep that going, especially too, like it keeps them honest. Well, then maybe we have enough time for Mateer to throw a pass or to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where they're going to have to honor the run. They didn't even have to honor it. You had one good quarter and then never did it again.
Yeah.
And that's me, which apparently we found out at halftime when we weren't getting the run going. BV called out Arbuckle.
Yeah, a little bit.
Was like, dude, we got to get this run, like figure out a way to get this run game going, or like this is gonna be a long day.
Yeah.
And I mean, they did, and they got it.
Yeah.
And then you don't do it in the fourth, and you give it to Mateer. And yes, like I understand like the trust thing, but it's not even to do with trust at that time. It's who has the hot hand.
Right.
And again, I go back to basketball. If somebody's got the hot hand, you're feeding it to them. You know what I mean? Like it's simple. Like I remember.
Hold on. We have a huge alert.
Wait, but
okay,
no.
Make
It's like with the hot hand. Like I played, in our conference tournament, and normally I'm our shooter, but my friend, my point guard, Tina, she was on fire this game. And I said, Tina, wherever you are, I'm getting the ball to you.
Yeah.
And I kept feeding her the ball. It didn't matter that I, quote unquote, was our quote unquote playmaker. She had the hot hand. I'm giving it to her.
Yeah.
And she made stuff happen and we ended up winning and it was fantastic. And I don't get it.
That was weird.
I just don't. And I don't know. I didn't play football. I'm just a girl.
No,
that's always my go-to. Anytime I go on a rant,
the points are perfect.
I didn't play football.
It's not about scheme or anything. It's about just understanding basics of it. And they say it so simply, but you got to ride the best player of the hot hand, right? Like you're saying, like if a player's shooting well, you let him shoot. Draymond Green, I'll never forget that game where he had 6 of 6 from 3-point. It was like game 4 or 5 against the Cavaliers, in which the Cavs came back because LeBron. But anyways, it didn't matter. But Draymond Green had like 6, so he went 6 of 6 from 3, and they kept. And you saw Steph Curry. Granted, Steph's not going to pass up many, but you saw him go to Draymond and tell him to shoot because he was hot. And Draymond's not a good 3-point shooter, but Andre Iguodala had a game like that one. I'll never forget. Anyways, huge news on the tarp front. Okay, why did OU not have a tarp? We're going to tweet this out because it's news everyone needs to know. I don't know if this guy wants me to say who it is or not. I'll just say this is what he told me from the former guy. I'll just say he used to run all the athletic fields at Oklahoma. He says OU doesn't have those types of tarps that keep rain from soaking into the field. You only see those types of tarps for the infields of softball and baseball fields. The tarps that OU has for the game fields are growth tarps that absorb and trap in heat, but they also allow the grass to breathe. They do nothing to keep the field dry. Typically used in November and December to get growth out of the grass for recovery. When we don't have warm enough temperatures for the grass to grow. They warm up the soil temperatures anywhere between 10 and 35 degrees. Science. So there you go. We just, and I guess I could ask them, why don't we invest in those? But I think maybe again, I just think there's such a huge, right. And I think there's such a huge investment. And not only that, like the actual just storage of them is probably such a nightmare.
Right.
Also,
they're
so
like,
massive.
how many times do you actually have to rinse
That's
away?
it. It's like how many times you like once every 4 years you'll use it. Like,
yeah.
So I agree. I just think, yeah. But anyways, pretty sweet.
There you
go. That's it. And that's from a guy that would be the expert that you could ever ask about OU fields, OU athletic fields. So there we go. Tennessee, T. I've ranted long enough.
Tennessee.
Last thing I'll say, by the way.
Numbers.
My bad.
I sent it to you. About
someone asked how's their defense. That's right.
Total. Yeah.
All right. This is from Jesse Crittenden. Crittenden? Yeah. Crittenden. I like his last name. Tennessee, total defense. 101st. Ole Miss was 64th. This is going to be comparison to Ole Miss. Scoring defense. Tennessee 112th. Ole Miss was 54th. I think I said that wrong the first time.
64th was
64th was the first one. Not total defense, Tennessee 101st, Ole Miss 64th. Scoring defense, Tennessee 112th, Ole Miss 54th. Passing defense, Tennessee 124th, Ole Miss 41st. Rushing defense, Tennessee 54th, Ole Miss 100th.
That's the only.
So there you go. They are a little better against the rush. They're not as good against the pass. There we go. And we'll see how it goes. Tierney, want to get us started on the Tennessee game and just some stuff you found
yes. So some of the stuff I looked at, which again I like to look at the overall. So their scoring offense is scoring almost 46 points a game, kind of a lot. Their scoring defense, they are giving up 31 points a game. So while we have not scored in the 30s in an SEC game yet, maybe this is the time, baby. Maybe this is the time.
By the way, talk about how much the fans are like, no, you're scoring on. We're like, dude, our offense is struggling. They're like, they could be blind. You're scoring 30 on our defense. And it's like, dude, why are we both just talking about how bad our sides of the ball are?
Because here's my thing. I feel like a lot of times as fans, and I'm talking to some of you in the chat, and I love you for it, but you'd rather be doom and gloom and, oh, everything's horrible, this is awful, this is bad, than to get your heart broken continually or to like be upset continually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you would rather just be like, oh no. You'd rather be an Eeyore about it than try to have any hope because, it is what it is. And I get it. Everybody has their own defense mechanisms. When I get to the point of like doom and gloom, I just truly don't care anymore. I'm like, look, if the worst thing that happened in my life is a football game loss, then like my life's pretty good. And we've had a lot of crappy things happen this year that it's like, it's football. I want us to win. It makes me very, very happy. Don't get me wrong, but you get what I'm saying. Anyways, I digress. Their total offense is averaging 510 yards per game. That's third nationally, so pretty good. Oh, and their points per game was second nationally. Total defense, they're also giving up 401 yards per game, which 101st national. I did not write how much they gave up to, or did I? Oh yeah, to Kentucky they gave up 476 yards. So
wow,
to a Kentucky offense they gave up that.
Almost dropped 40 on them too.
Yes, that as well. Rushing offense, about 190 yards, 36th. Passing offense, they're third nationally. So offensively, that's going to be another challenge for Oklahoma. This is a top 5 ranked statistically offense, and it's going to be an issue. And it all goes through Aguilar. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Aguilar. Yep.
Great. I want to be like Aguilera because Christina, but Aguilar. He has over 2,000 passing yards. He has a 66-ish% completion rate. He has 18 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, which I believe like 2 of those came from Alabama, almost 3.
Wow.
And 91 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. So I will say with him, not afraid to sling it.
No, he's not at all.
He's very accurate. He's got a great arm. He's not afraid to sling it under pressure too. Like he'll see the pocket collapsing. He'll see you running at him and he's staying there and he's letting it fly. So for us, we have to keep that in mind when we are pressuring him to not make sure we are giving it up.
By the way,
further down.
Guess where is this right? He came from Appalachian State last year. Appalachian State?
I thought he was at UCLA.
That's what I thought. Why is it saying that? No. Diablo Valley, and then he went to Appalachian State. That's weird. This whole time I thought he was at UCLA before he went to Tennessee. Why did I think that? Also has like a Trae Young haircut.
Was there another? Not the point.
Not the point, yeah.
So for me, like that's something that our defense is gonna have to keep in mind. Not that they need me saying that, but like, duh. But the thing that I noticed is he's not a runner. So he's not to say that he can't. I did see him make a few scrambles here and there, but most of the time when you look at his stats with the running, it's like in the negative yards. So he's not looking to like use his feet in the way that Trinidad Chambliss did, which to me is a positive because we did struggle with someone like that. But we've also done well against like Jalen Milroe last year. Right. But so that is one thing that if we can get him uncomfortable, get him out of pocket, trying to scramble a little bit, I think we could be at good chances for more tackles for loss, more sacks, and things of that nature. But at the same time, you have to know he's not afraid. He's not afraid of your pressure. And he's still going to step up in the pocket. And he's going to sling it. But he was at UCLA briefly. Okay, thank you. We both were sitting here like, are we being gaslit by this?
Why is it not mentioning this?
Some of their big players, I know I had to get my paper out, are obviously their quarterback. I'm so old school, man. I print everything off. Chad makes cute little slideshows. Their leading... Why am I going blank?
Wide receiver?
Their leading rusher, no, is Deshaun Bishop. He has 652 yards, averaging 7 a carry. and 9 touchdowns. So again, it's a good chance for our running defense to hopefully step up and stop somebody as powerful as he is. They also have another running back, Star Thomas, who has over 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 5.6 yards a carry. So they do have like a 1-2. They run other guys, but those are their like 1-2 punch. And so that's their X and their Tory. And they're going to be a good challenge for us. Reception-wise, they have Chris Brazel, I don't know. But he has 740 yards, 8 touchdowns. He's 6'5".
Dang.
So he's a big guy, got some size. Again, going to be another challenge for the corners out there. So,
and people mention about how do you stop these kind of dual threat or guys that aren't good offenses. Go back to the Alabama game last year, the time of possession, Oklahoma 34 minutes, Alabama 25. So you have the ball 10 more minutes. You're just not giving them opportunities to do anything on offense. And that's the main way that happens. So if we can just run the ball well, like we did against Alabama for 257 yards, 5.1 a carry, then you can have success. All of these games are coming up. Theoretically, we could win every one of them. It's just, we've seen us just
lose all of them.
Yeah. And I think, and maybe you made this point, I can't remember, but it was like, what's more discouraging now is that we know like the coaches saw something work and they just didn't exploit it anymore. But sorry to interrupt. To your point about that.
You're good.
Have you done through all? No, I don't think so.
No.
Okay.
And then one other wide receiver that they go to a lot is Braylon Staley, and he has over 600 yards and 3 touchdowns. So they have another good wide receiving core. And I believe against Kentucky, they had like 3 wide receivers with over 100 yards. I don't know if we've had that this year.
We didn't.
In a single game. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're lucky if we have one. So they're not shy of the pass.
Right.
Pretty much. I mean, they're a good offense, period, point blank, because they got good runners too. They also have another fantastic field goal kicker, which I think a lot of these games can come down to who can hit them and who can't. Who can hit them? Who can kick them?
Hit the field? Yeah, hit them.
Yeah. He has made 2 for 2 over 50 yards. He's 2 for 4 from the 40 to 49 range. And I think he made everything else under that. So dude has a leg as well. So could be a showdown of the kickers as well. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm again. I don't call myself a sunshine pumper, and I don't call myself a doomer. I just call myself
a truther,
a normal, a
normie. Yeah.
I ain't calling you a lie. I ain't calling you a truther.
Yeah.
So like I am aware of what our issues are, but then like what I do, like I'm aware of the issues, but it's like, okay, but if we fix the issues, like I'm aware that what we did in the fourth quarter, but if we just had given it to extra, what could have happened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the thing is like you feel like we have the tools to win, and if we can just use them, we can win. Yeah.
Exactly. And like the biggest thing for me is just cutting out the errors. Like you can't, the safety, and again, the safety all stemmed from he had a holding on special teams, dumb, which again, their big return after our safety, there's a block in the back, which I recorded and sent it to him and my brother. And then Peyton Bowen's getting held. And I'm like, how come they don't see this? But they see a hold on us where we fair caught it too. On top of that, even worse.
I think it was a 3-yard return. You were right. Oh, you said that and I was wrong.
Okay, just kidding. Well, anyways, we get a hold, which apparently we get seen. And again, not to say don't call it, but it's like it's amazing how it's only gets seen of late.
Just frustrating.
You mentioned we come out of a timeout and we have an illegal formation.
I would say I'm so glad Gabe brought that up. I'm like,
what are we doing?
It's inexcusable.
Yeah, and then you get blown up and you get a safety. So like those are fixable errors.
Right.
They're very, very fixable.
Yeah.
And honestly, that shouldn't even be fixable. They shouldn't happen. And then the same thing with our Mason Thomas offsides. You miss a tipped interception because again, for whatever reason, we can't get those and everyone else can. Satanga fumbles it. So it's just like everything gets compounded. And I don't know. And I mentioned another thing that happened in the game. It's like our Mason Thomas was held. Something else happened. I don't remember, but it ended up getting them to their side of the field. It's like if we had just done this one thing. And again, so I think like they're all fixable.
Right.
And if we fix those, like, yes, I think we can win every game out. The problem is because I've seen us do dumb crap.
Yeah.
Because I've seen us beat ourselves, I'm like, we could also very well go 0-5, 0-4.
Yeah.
How many games do you have left? 4.
4.
So it's just like, I don't know. I'm just here. I'm like, I just hope it's a good game. And maybe that's where I'm at too. To me, maybe it goes back to being an athlete. If we play the best we can, we play a clean game and we just lose because we're not the better team.
Right.
Fine. So be it. I can live with that. But the way that we have lost, that's where it is frustrating. And so it is what it is.
It's like we've lost by not utilizing what we saw work in the end game, which is just annoying. I don't know. It continues to baffle me how we can do that, where we find what works and we just don't just hammer it over and over and over again. But there is hopefully some good news on the horizon in terms of, by the way, good news today in the recruiting front. Jasir Rogers, big time 4-star receiver who was committed to Penn State, has flipped to Oklahoma. So that helps us. I think we're like number 18 now.
I want to point out, White Boy Slick, I'm not saying you have to be happy. I'm not happy that we lost.
No.
I'm just saying there's very opposite ends of the spectrum. There's all the people that are saying, all is well, it's fine, everything's great. I'm not there. But no. I'm also not, everything's horrible, let's burn it down to the ground. Let's fire everybody. Let's cut everybody. Let's replace everybody. Like, I'm not there either.
No.
And I feel like a lot of our fan base is either one or the other.
Yeah.
So, and then that's where like Chad and I get told, well, we're a bunch of sunshine pumpers. But then by people who are like legitimately like sunshine pumpers, we're a bunch of doomers. So
probably
it's
a good place to be, really.
It's a good place to be. And you're not wrong.
Nope.
Wherever you stand, you feel how you feel. I'm just saying, if like you're gonna get both sides from us. We're not gonna say all is well, everything's fine, and we're not gonna say burn it all to the ground.
Yeah,
at this time.
Yeah, well, and I will say something I just don't care about are bowl wins. We had I think 49 scholarship guys. No one plays in bowl games. Bowl games are absolutely meaningless. For anyone that thinks bowl games matter, I don't even know how to say it in a way that
your team decides it matters. No, so unless you're like the Florida State trying to go to their first 10 win season in years and nobody opts out,
right?
Then that matters to you. But in general,
and whenever you have guys whenever you have 5 starters on one side opt out against Florida State and you're playing all these and you lose, it's like, okay, dude, that's not really Oklahoma. Whenever you have 49 starters and none of your big time players playing the bowl, it's like, okay.
Right. And everybody ceases to be like, well, our second and third string should be good enough. This isn't the era prior to NIL where you can stack that type of talent.
No,
nobody has that anymore.
No,
because you can't. Because those people are going to go play somewhere else.
Yeah, but bowl games are I'm so tired of hearing that, like the bowl game win record. Like, who cares, dude? They're meaningless. Even if we won them, I'm not impressed. They are meaningless games. I just don't care.
You sure you're not going to buy a T-shirt?
This is like bowl games. If you're not in the college football playoff, your game's meaningless.
Yeah,
they're good for practice, sure, for the young guys, which is why we play young guys every time we're in bowl games. Like, I get everyone's mad upset, but no, Duke Silver. No, they don't. They don't matter. They're pointless. Who cares? Maybe they do for people that look at win-loss records and not the context of a whole season. Mm-hmm. Molly, thanks for your comment. And again, y'all are free to disagree. That is totally fine. But for me, it's like, I don't care. If we're not, I care about if your best players are playing against mine, who wins. Not if we have 15 guys sitting out, Navy doesn't have a single one, and we lose the game with playing like 14 true freshmen. I don't care we lost that. That's not Oklahoma. That wasn't the team we had all year. Granted, not a great team all year last year. But like, you lose the bowl game against who did we lose to that first season even?
If they mattered to the players and coaches, the players would play.
Yeah, they don't matter. They matter if you're in.
It only matters for optics if you care about what trolls from Texas Twitter say to you on Twitter.
They don't matter to the players. They don't matter. You play if it matters. They don't matter. They haven't mattered since the playoff became a thing. And this is why I say the playoff will expand. It'll be 24 and then it'll be even bigger because bowl games are going to become irrelevant unless they are involved in a game that matters. And the only games that matter are playoff games because those are the only games that you can win a championship in. Once the playoff became a thing, bowl games became irrelevant. And you know why it's going to get even bigger? Because everybody that loved NIL and wanted all these players to make the money, you got to have more money in order to actually meet your revenue requirements, which is why they're going to add more TV timeouts to games. They're going to add more playoff games. They're going to sell more games. No, we're not. Duke Silver. I just disagree with every point Duke Silver says. And again, fair enough. You see different. BV was 3-0 in bowl games. We are viewing BV completely different right now. I haven't changed. I don't count last year against BV. I don't count the first year. You might think I'm crazy for saying that. They don't even process in my mind. I count 2023 and I count this year. I don't count the first year because you're trying to, like my favorite example, you're trying to fly a plane, learn how to fly a plane while it's taking off. You came in this spring portal window. You had no players. You just basically try to field a team. The second last year, you had 9 starters out on offense. No coach is overcoming that. No coach could plan for that. No coach could try not to have that happen. You had all your money sitting on the sidelines. You had guys that didn't want to compete, and they're not on your team anymore. I hold 2023 against them. You lost to Kansas and Oklahoma State. Also, I could argue Danny Stutzman didn't play the second half of Kansas, didn't play against Oklahoma State. This year, you looks like you're gonna. Now he could end up losing the last 4 games, and yeah, it'd be a big. I'd be really mad about that. There's a lot that you can't do. But if you're gonna sit here and tell me that Venable somehow just by his aura made players hurt, I mean, there are things he could do in practice for sure to make players not be injured. But I just don't. I have never been impressed by a coach's bowl game record. Not once in my life. I don't care about bowl games. I wasn't when we beat Auburn the year we missed the playoff of Baker. I was not cool. We beat Auburn. I don't care that it was in the Sugar Bowl or whatever it was. I don't care we beat Florida whenever Caleb Williams came in. That is meaningless to me. I've said that my entire life. No one cares about it. You know why? I got to ask you who won the Pop-Tarts Bowl last year. You have no idea because they don't matter. The
Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, I got to ask you who won the Orange Bowl last year. You have no idea off the top of your head. You can Google it. No one matters.
Ugh, a groin injury.
Sucks. I just. So I mean, that's just me. That's fine. It does show my age, but guess what? That's the age we're in. Players don't care about it. They're not playing in them.
Again, it shows our age. Again, we're not saying they never mattered.
They don't matter now at all. They used to be a big deal.
Now, in the last 5 years,
they matter.
Started 10 years ago.
They matter for the practices you get for the young players. That's why they matter, because you get 18 or whatever it is practices. That's why they matter. They don't matter for the outcome of the game. At least I couldn't care less.
We qualify for those.
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost to the point where I would say don't even count the win or loss to a record, because I don't think they. I just don't think they matter at all. I just don't. I don't say they used to matter.
We're not saying they never matter. I said they did used to matter.
Duke Silver says they.
Yeah, I'm saying they never mattered. But once you got the playoff, and there was no really New Year's 6.
Yeah.
Once that started happening, now it's like who cares? And again, if they mattered, your players would play.
Right.
People wouldn't sit out. They wouldn't opt out of games. And again, and a lot of times, if a guy's you're not going to let him play. Because if they're going to NFL, why would you let them play?
Yeah, Coach Smith says a good one. I don't want my starters. Well, I'm just doing voice text. I know it is. I don't want my starters to play in the bowl game, any bowl games, and maybe get hurt. Not worth it. Let's let the young players play for experience. Dad, your voice text is crazy. You're right. Bowl games don't matter. Just scrimmages. They try to get. Yeah, it's just for money. And so I mean, it is what it is. Tell the donors they don't. Duke's over. Tell the donors they don't. Tell the donors they don't matter. I cannot read right now. Tell the stakeholders they don't matter. They matter and don't want to lose them. Again, if they think they matter, I think it's an old way of thinking. We hear
from a lot of donors that they don't care.
I tell you what, I hope I'm a donor one day, and I could not care less about a bowl game. I probably wouldn't even go to it. I do not care about them. I think if you're not in the playoff, to me, you're not doing anything in the season. I just don't care if you had a winning record and won a bowl game in which the other team set 9 starters. I don't care. That's not impressive. You didn't beat them.
But we digress. So, again, we're not saying you're wrong necessarily.
Anytime you lose the Navy, it matters. When did we lose them? When we had 49 players on our roster. That's not our team. I just don't. That's asinine to think you're gonna to literally beat a team that had no guys sitting out.
And again, I think it matters more to y'all because y'all listen to trolls on Twitter. I don't give a crap what any troll on Twitter says.
Listen, all right, cool. And if it matters to you, fair enough. I mean, it's not like we're saying
we're not saying we don't watch it.
I'm just saying no player has ever gone into recruiting and say they played good in their bowl game last year. No, they say they made it to the playoff. They have a chance to win a championship. They are all I can say is for me and for the people that I talk to. They're just I could not care less about a bowl game or any of that. Yeah, I know it was Navy. They're not a bad team when they have Division I football players and you're playing against true freshmen on the other side for the most part, and all your best players have sat out. I mean, you can keep saying that. It's the fact. I mean, they're still players, and you're just not going to beat them whenever you don't play well and you have a bunch of inexperience out there. But that's just my opinion. Could be wrong. Whatever. I just got to,
we got to move on.
We got to move on.
We're not going to disagree. We're not going to agree, and that's fine.
Let me X out of these. I'll tell you what, we don't agree with a lot.
My last thing on this point, do I care last year if we win that game if we're 7-6 or 6-7?
No.
That doesn't make a big difference to me at all. It doesn't change how I feel about anything that happened during the season.
No.
That's just where I'm at.
No.
But
and by the way,
we're Zeno zone.
Yeah, and the way to make bowl games matter, which is what they're gonna do, they're gonna have to incorporate them into the playoff. And the issue with the bowl games is
I wish I was born after 1995.
Yeah, dude, I wish I was born after 95, Duke. Thank you though.
And again, I'm just gonna say, and again,
Daniel Graham asked we were going to kneel.
We're not saying
we were going to go this year. We never been though.
But now, yeah,
they used to matter a lot.
So we're
Absolutely.
Saving money. But we're just saying,
when it was especially BCS era, they mattered a ton because there was only one. I mean, there was only one championship game. Now they're all mini championship games in and of themselves, and there's multiple of them. And all the best teams want to be in those games, not in the Big Ten bowls. So it's just a difference of just paradigm shift really, and what the important games are. Games in which you have players sit out aren't important, or the players wouldn't sit out. That's just the fact of it, and it's really that simple.
Right. If it doesn't matter to the people that are actually playing in the game, like the actual students.
Yeah.
Like, why should it matter to me?
Well, also the reason why it's going to become incorporated into the playoffs is because donors are going to. There's a lot of issues with sponsors dropping into their naming rights to bowl games because players aren't playing in them and people aren't watching them because the best players don't play because they don't want to get hurt for the NFL. They do play in the playoff games because they can win national championships in those. They don't play in games that, you can't win national championships in. Fair enough. We disagree on that. Whatever. All fair. All is good. I love the discussion. That is always lively. It helps the show a ton. And it helps us, have a fun back and forth. We also want to show, though, someone who also had a struggling week. Zeno.
Yeah, poor Z. He went 2-3 last week.
Yeah.
So he got a little sad face by it. His record's still fine, but the sad face was
29-18 solid.
That he had a losing record this week.
Sure,
so maybe he'll do better this week. Although personally, I hope he's wrong on 2 of these games. But
well,
I digress.
There, yeah, a little foreshadowing.
Some of the games, I guess I could put it in the comments for you guys to choose along. Again, we don't know how to do like polls or anything, but anyways, you can choose along with him. Here are the games. I will put them in there.
Come on, Eileen.
Go ahead.
This song, Come On Eileen, has been just on my brain. Come on, Eileen. No, I still. Dude, no, all respect, dude. I don't take it as, maybe I'm just weird. I never read tweets and all that as like, we're just talking. I don't take anything as disrespect or anything. I love it.
We're cool.
Yeah, trust me. T will tell you, it would take, you would have to work. I am
far more sensitive.
Yeah, you would have to try to offend me. I don't know if really.
Yeah, no, I'm far more sensitive.
Dude, all love, man. No problem at all.
And we appreciate you being here.
Yeah. And I appreciate you. I know he's a good dude because he felt he needed to say that. He was like, dude, I don't mean to be all good.
Let me think. Okay. I think I got all the games here for you guys to vote about who you think will win. And also, when it pops up on the screen, you can always just shoot in the chat what you think will happen. But those are preview of what the games are.
All right. Zeno, let's see how you do this week, my man. Boom. What in the world?
I know. It's the first time he has not picked Oklahoma all year.
The Benedict Arnold himself.
I know. He did not like that we didn't get the ball to X-Rob.
Well, that's fair.
He told me.
It's very fair. Actually.
Zeno, why? I know. I was
man.
watching it too. I was like, Zeno, no. And same with him picking Texas over Vandy. And that's just
Arch is out, I think. He has a concussion. Pretty sure.
Well, that would have been good information for him to know.
Well, that's true.
Before.
Well, I think. I don't know if they announced that or not.
Could have. Dog sleeps outside tonight. I know. I was really upset. So that's where I'm saying I hope he's wrong. I hope he's wrong on 2 games this week. I hope at best he's 3-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, Texas is not a bad pick if Arch is in. Like, I don't know if he's.
I think he's out. Stacy's. I think he's
out
too. Hey, let's see. Art, I'm pretty sure he got a concussion.
That would have been good to know.
Or he's in protocol at least. Manning's backup redshirt senior Matthew Caldwell, who entered Saturday's game, delivered the go-ahead touchdown pass to Emmett Mosley.
Interesting.
This is just great
Keep an eye
podcasting
on
here.
that.
It's just 21. Did not practice. He didn't practice on Monday.
Okay,
And I don't know if he's had a history of them. Obviously, like the more you
Yeah.
have is
They're an issue.
white boy. All right, trying to last a little bit. Maybe he thought they were bowl games.
All right, I'll keep an eye on that. Okay, so for if Arch is out, I'm not counting it against him.
All right, fair.
He gets 4 games, unless he gets it right still. Just kidding.
That'd be
but
pretty wild.
no, I hope he's wrong on some of those.
Caldwell did have a dime in that game. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Very.
Interesting. I didn't know he had a concussion.
Yep.
Wait,
All
when
right.
did he get it?
In the game.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
towards
because
the
I
end.
remember.
He got,
Because we were in
yeah.
post game and we said Arch went to the injury tent.
Yeah.
He didn't come back.
He's out. Dude, he got hit hard.
Yeah, well, I mean, their backup got him back into it, I guess. So.
Yep. All right, well,
Stupid.
that's
Still
our show.
love you, Zeno. We still love him too. He just, he's allowed to have his own opinion sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. For all those, and hopefully he is wrong. That'd be a good one that he'd be wrong about. But, man, I hope we win this weekend. It really does just ruin my week when we lose. I know every OU fan feels that way, but like, dang, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I shouldn't say ruins my week. Lots happen that's changed my perspective and things, but
right.
It is frustrating when we lose.
No, it definitely. Like, it's upsetting. And here's the thing: let's just let's find a way to win Saturday.
Yeah.
So I can have a happy bye week.
No.
Because that's the thing that's really going to bother me. Is like if we lose 2 in a row and then we go on a bye week, it's like,
yeah.
And it's like I have to wait again to watch us play to potentially be filled with some temporary joy for a second. But
golly, that'd be such a big win too. All right, well, that's our show. We're gonna wrap up. As we say,
also I should put implication of this game. Both of these teams are fighting for a chance to even still appear in the playoff. We're both 6-2, so a lot on the line for both teams. And
man,
but
thank y'all for watching. Like we say every week, we appreciate anyone taking their time to listen to us, just talk on here and be interactive in the chat. White Boy Slick, which is just a great name. And then Duke Silver, always much love. If I ever sound, I don't know, frustrated or anything, I'm not. I think I just sometimes sound that way. My tone, yeah.
Chad's tone can carry. Because he'll say certain things to me sometimes. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. He's like, what? I'm like, it's kind of aggressive, or it sounded like you're mad. He's like, no, I'm not mad at all. I'm like, so don't take it personally.
Yeah, just give me some grace on that, because I try to work on that. I just I have my inflection and stuff. Just I can sound like I'm
He's just
annoyed.
used to
not
being that way.
But you guys rock. Y'all are the best. As I always say, if you have family around, tell me you love them. It's always a blessing to be able to do that. So hope you guys have a good week. Hopefully we have a happy Saturday.
Yes.
Saturday evening.
I hope you have a safe and happy Halloween.
Oh, awesome.
We brought it back
this
out
for game day last year. How cool is this?
Brought it back out, guys.
Boom. Sorry, I'm trying to get in that. I thought it was pretty good.
Anyways, we do hope that you go ahead and like the video. Throw a comment when we get off of the live. If you could just throw a quick comment, that really helps out a long way. Share the video. Stacy is our girl. She's always sharing our videos on Twitter, which we really, really appreciate. Become a member. Subscribe to the channel. All the things, and we hope to see you again with happy faces this time on Saturday evening. We'll be right back here. So we hope that you join us. Boomer.
Sooner.